sort of scientific. So Jeanette, you have your hand up before we begin.
Yeah, I put my question in the chat. The question is, could you explain what encryption is and why it is important?
Absolutely. We'll get to that in this very first section right here. Our very first section is about email addresses. So let's start with what would be considered the most common, popular, newer email address, Gmail, Google. Who uses a Gmail account? Just raise your hand, make some noise. Who uses a Gmail account? Oh. So I'm looking at page 1. I need to see more people. So I would say about a third of the group maybe is using a Gmail account. Who is using something that says ca.rr.com or pacbell.net or Hotmail or AOL or Prodigy.net?
I use AOL.
Okay.
I use AT&T.
AT&T, and that's another one.
I only use Google. I only use Google for certain things. I have to use Google on YouTube and things like that.
Okay, that's good. It's good to have a Google account. We'll explain why. Who has had their email forever? It's so daunting. It's like more telling than your social security history. So that's important.
I have.
Yeah, so people have had their emails for a very, very long time. All right. So let's talk about this suggestion today. We'll get to some of the questions in a moment and why a newer email is suggested. First of all, think of your emails as all being saved in a shoebox somewhere. They are somewhere. You have used that email, whether it was to, by mistake, get a subscription to Popular Mechanics or flowers.com, or you had some old accounts that you used. You moved 3 times and you have a different electric provider. When you retired, you moved to Nevada, and you changed that, but you still have an old LADWP account that has your email. It could be anything at all. Those emails are alive somewhere. They sit somewhere, and all it would take is somebody to get into that company's account to find those emails and just cause you a headache and cause you trouble. As well, in the smaller companies, such as I like to use pacbell.net, which is now an AT&T product, or roadrunner.com, which is now Spectrum. The original company is no longer around. So they were purchased by a bigger company. That applies to AOL and Hotmail and many of the older emails, or Earthlink. We remember Earthlink. So those companies have just whittled down the amount of services they apply to that. It's not a big money-making platform. They make their money on selling ads. And you don't get as many services and or encryption services, which means they're not using the latest and greatest technology to protect your account. They don't have anything to sell you. They don't want to invest in that. The biggest company that offers all that, and the coin of the realm, would be Google. You get a Google account, you get a Gmail account. The thing about a Gmail account is that it comes with a certain amount of storage, a free amount of storage, which will store all your emails, all the years of emails. You could even purchase more storage as time goes on. On a side note, a Google account comes with a lot of other features, a word processor, photo album, very powerful tools that people use. LAUSD kids use the Google word processor, not Microsoft Word any longer. Getting back to the point of the email, is a company like Google, or I think Yahoo's still pretty good, if you're adverse to Google, is highly encrypted. I mean, they're highly protected. Their account recovery process is very detailed. It's a highly traded company on the stock market. It's Google. It's the coin of the realm. So if your most vulnerable accounts, if you have an older email, and let's say your utilities are on that email, or your healthcare, you get your billing at your older email service, it is suggested, I suggest it, just from the amount of, by the way, the reason these suggestions come in, folks, is I'm a shop. It's just not a lecture. We're a tech shop. We receive the calls. We track down where the issues come from, and often where the frauds come from, or when people stop receiving emails or can't get them across devices on the phone and the computer at the same time.
I got it now.
These are things that come here. If you have those, it wouldn't not be prudent. Hold on a second. One moment. Imprudent to set yourself up with a Gmail account. You can make a new roycem@gmail.com or Hazel S or boss.com or Simbre. Anybody can make Google account. And then the first process would be going to your main list of accounts. Could be the credit cards, could be your healthcare, the things that are most important, and then go into that account and go and update your email address to your new safe, in this case, sallyking@gmail.com per se. It's a modern email system. Your important data is going there. You can share that email with somebody that's important to you if you can't access that for any reason, real world situations. And you can be secure that at least for the next 10 years, your data is going to be safe. And you're not going to be at a loss because you've run out of memory or the service is unavailable, or for some reason, the forgot password section doesn't work in some of those email services. For example, for those that had cable, the original emails in Southern California with Roadrunner, all those emails, now you have to use Spectrum to get the email. If you were with AT&T, now it's Yahoo. But I just read that Yahoo is spinning up AT&T as well. So the gist of it is just upgrading your email service. Another benefit of doing this, and I'll hit some questions after this, is emails collect junk over years. It's almost impossible to go through. We've talked about it, going through all your emails and unsubscribe. Very often in a fishy email, the unsubscribe is actually a subscribe button. It's not really what it says, everything is not what it seems. That unsubscribe button is just a way to get you to interact. So the junk filters and just the newness of a fresh email will allow you not to have 10 years ago clicked on, summervacation.com, and now you get emails twice a day from summer rental vacation, vrbn.com all day long. So I think the gist of that is there. It's no different than cleaning out the closet, or oiling the motor. Are there any questions? I see Irene Garcia has a question.
Hi,
Beverly
Elijah.
has a question.
We'll get to everybody, totally. Yeah, Sally, I gotcha. Please, Irene.
My question is, so I have Gmail on the topic of Gmail,
Mhm.
and it is my name and the year I created it. And just about maybe 2 years ago, I started getting emails from another Irene Garcia with the same year. The only difference was there was a dot between the first and last name. So I was getting this lady's emails. Apparently she was in college. And so I was getting like her work assignments, her homework, and just various emails. Is there any way with Gmail, like say if I wanted to go and edit my email to create something different, that I would not be getting her emails? Because now I'm like, okay, is she getting some of my emails?
Well, absolutely. First of all, Irene Garcia is a fairly common name. I mean, Irene and Garcia are two names that would definitely be out there a lot, but we could go into the back end of your Google account and block the Irene.Garcia and just have your present email receiving and sending from your account.
So what I did with the emails I was getting, I unsubscribed to them, but how do I do what you just mentioned?
No, we can get into this a little bit later, but yeah, when there's a great thing about Google, there's a settings platform where you can go in and remove connected accounts.
Oh, okay.
And they do that because over 30 years of emailing, there's a bunch of Irene Garcias and Rose Serratos and Peter Rudolphs. You know what I mean? It's just like names they build up
John
over
Smith,
time.
all that stuff.
Yeah. But did you do the homework for her is my question. Did you help? Or did you?
No. No, I didn't, unfortunately.
All right.
I was
no, those are all great tweaks.
Okay, I have a similar situation to
Who's
Irene.
speaking?
Is that I'm
Hold on.
sorry, this is Beverly Clark. I still
Sally, we'll
can't
get to you.
in on
Beverly,
my
go
Zoom.
ahead, Beverly.
It's weird, I can't get in. But anyway, I have a similar situation with my Gmail. I actually get my Gmail account is Beverly J. Clark, which is also common, but I get mail for a Beverly J. Clark at Google, and she's in the United Kingdom, but I get a lot of her email.
Yeah, same situation. It's the same situation. Somehow that older email, when you use a common name and you try to work your way around, that name gets linked to your account. And there's a setting in the back end where we can remove
Okay.
that linked account. And I can show you that, you know, we can have a session after class or in between. It's a little detailed right now for the main crux of it, but those are good ways. You can,
Okay.
there's lists there where you could block people and lists that you can white line people, which can go to the top of your list. There's a lot of features in the back end of Google.
Okay. Thank you.
Sally,
I have two email accounts. One's with Comcast and one's a Gmail account. Is Comcast safe?
Comcast would be, let me look this up. Comcast is now
Xfinity.
Xfinity, so that's been sold. So that means your Comcast account, you would use Xfinity to log into your Comcast.
That is
So
true. But then
that-
my email is savannahsally@comcast.net.
To me, that would be a good example of what I'm explaining. I certainly wouldn't get rid of that immediately, but I would move my important things to my Gmail account. That's an example, because Xfinity will get sold again in our lives. You know, they could be signing the paper right now as we're running class. So without a doubt, that would be a perfect example where I would feel comfortable with me or my mom or any of my clients to have their data aggregated in a clean, safer Gmail.
So
environment.
financial and medical should be moved over to Gmail.
Financial, medical, auto, you know, if I look down my bookmark list, I could think of my credit card, certainly, you know, I don't want to miss one of those, any of those. And by the way, we'll talk about how to integrate the personal emails into your new account as well. That's a thing. Could we have some hands up? The people that have hands raised with the icon, I'm gonna get to all of you, but I'm gonna get to one person that just has their physical hand raised, and that is Noreen. Noreen, you can unmute yourself, Noreen. There's a, let me see if I can help you. There's a mute button on the bottom of your Zoom screen on the far left in the bottom of your Zoom experience next to stop video.
Yeah.
And if you click that, let me see if I can sometimes I can hint you along the way. And I got you, Novella. Noreen, if you look at the bottom.
I got it. I got
Yeah,
it.
good
now. I
job.
was
Awesome.
trying to- It wasn't showing up on the bottom either, but then it showed. Okay, my quick question, I might have missed this, but did you say Yahoo was okay?
Yeah, Yahoo's okay. I mean, nothing's Google. I mean, it's just like it or
I
not.
have a Yahoo and I have a Google and
I think you're okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. You know, the other one that would be still okay would be Outlook, a Microsoft, or iCloud. They're sort of stable. Let's go down the row over here. Let's start with Novella.
Okay, I have a very old email, 20 to 30 years old. Is it a good idea to link that to a new email address or just stop one and start a
What
new?
is the suffix of that email? At, Novella at. What is the at part?
What do you mean?
So if the email address is novella@gmail.com, what would the email address be in the suffix? That's the second half of the email.
att.net?
AT&T is Yahoo. So, you know, you're not, you know, you're somewhat okay. However, AT&T.net is not its own company anymore.
But I can't get into that anymore. It won't allow me. So should I just get a new email address?
Yeah. So if you haven't, this is a good question. If you can't get into an old locked account and you've tried all the password resets,
Right.
or it could, maybe sometimes we've run into this, the most frustrating thing, and it always happens at like 9:45 at night, where it says, we'll send a text to your phone number, but it's a phone you don't have anymore.
Right.
Or it's an old email you don't have any longer, right? You're in that catch-22, you're just circling now. You're just like that, and you're clicking, and you're like, and it's just a circle. This would be a good time to start a new email. In that email, there's a recovery account. You can have a recovery phone number and a recovery email. Could be my email, could be something else you have. It would be a good time to organize all those recovery features.
A recovery, what is that?
That means if you lose your password,
Uh-huh.
they can send you a text or an email at a different address with a passcode.
So I have to sign up for that?
Yes.
Yes.
And we'll do a little review on what it's like to sign up for people in a moment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to go to Royce.
I am in the process of doing what you're suggesting. I have an AOL account and most of my life is still there, although I've had a Gmail and I'm starting to try to use it. The question is, I know there's a way that you can forward your AOL to your Gmail. However, my concern about that is that then I'd be getting all the junk AOL that I want to get rid of. So should I not do that, or should I just continue, move the important things, and go into the accounts and do that? But let's say for personal stuff, just check the AOL periodically so
Okay,
as not
so
to
here's-
miss things.
I have this is my thing. If you can forward an email, so that's definitely something you can probably do somewhere in the settings of AOL. However, the point is for me not to add more information into my space. And
Yeah,
give
that's what
AOL
I'm
my new
thinking.
Gmail. And so there are two levels to this switch, to this transition. It's big. Like if you've been using the same email for years, to go down.
Yeah.
One is the commercial end, where you can go to a website and go in and update your password. No matter how
Right, and-
cumbersome that is, you can get that done. You do one a week, one every
Okay.
2 weeks. Just like bear yourself in, go to cox.net, one a week, like whatever it is. And the second one is the personal ones. Now, if you are using Mac Mail or Outlook on your computer to get your emails, you have the ability to receive the email from voss@aol.com and then reply from voss@gmail.com. There's an ability to get an email from somebody to your old address, and then when you reply from your new address. Many people will never even notice that you have a new email. The correspondence will then go between the new email and their email.
How do you do that?
Well, I could show you, and let me give you a brief, I'm going to share my
Okay.
screen, everybody. This is a cool tool. Let me share my screen. I'm doing this on an Apple presently. And I'll get to all the questions, and I see some in the chats, and Israel's going to answer some of the chats as well. So here we go. Let me open my Apple. So there's Apple. There's my new design coming for the next group. So here I have an email. It's from Jean. It's about some HIPAA compliance we have to talk about. She sent it to me, Elijah@momscomputer.com. I don't want to use that any longer. So I'm going to reply. On here, I can say from Elijah@momscomputer.com, or I can go to my personal, hamradioelijah@gmail.com. So that means Jean sent an email to one address, and I'm responding from a different address. That means
It's so small. Oh, wait a minute. Huh?
It's
Okay,
small.
so you're responding from
she sent it,
to, right. Okay, so let's say I get it at AOL,
right?
but
Then you can go and respond from the different address. And then the chain of emails is now going to come and go between this email address and Jean's address.
But do I have to forward the thing from my AOL to my Gmail in order to respond?
No, not at all. This would be used if you're using Outlook or Mac Mail.
Oh,
If you're just going to the web to get your AOL, you're going to AOL.com and signing into AOL, then the best feature for that would be to create a mass email and send a group email.
oh,
And for those that are just not able to do that, let's be realistic. There's a lot of people that just want to click that button and get that thing to you. They're not going to change anything whatsoever.
Okay.
You would keep AOL open for just those people.
okay.
I mean, this could be a year process for some folks. So, I mean,
And yeah, and what about switching your contacts? All my contacts are in AOL. How do you
that's
get
an
those
easy
to?
part. That's a great contact, but that's a much easier process. You can download your contacts to an Excel file and upload those to your new email account.
Okay.
Elijah, would you have had to have those emails previously created though to be able to choose from it?
In the example I just gave,
Yes, you know how you picked
Yes.
on a list?
in
You would
my,
have had to have that created already, right?
what kind of, how do you get your email, Irene?
What do you mean?
How do you do on your computer? Do you go to your email account, or do you go to Outlook, or do you use? an
I
Apple?
go to my email account.
Alexa,
Gmail.
cancel.
Ooh, that was good. We love Alexa. We're fans. Okay, yeah. I'll get more into that in a moment, Irene. What that would be used on Outlook or Mac Mail, where you have both accounts set up.
Okay,
And that's that Outlook stamp. or there's a Mac mail stamp, and you would open that, and that would be a way to aggregate.
Oh, okay. That's why I've never seen that in Gmail. That's why I was a little confused.
I'm gonna hit, I see, I've got Gloria, Amor, Boss, but I see Selma there. Selma, do you have your hand up? And you can unmute yourself, Selma, look for the unmute button.
What's the difference
Good job.
between email and Wi-Fi?
Okay, let me explain this. Let's take a step back. So, Selma, thanks for coming to class, by the way. Email is a way to communicate electronically messages, the same way you would have sent an old letter and licked the envelope and put it in a post office box, and the person would receive it. This is a way to send that electronically from my computer to your computer, your computer to my computer. Wi-Fi is the radio signal that sends that email. You write the email on your computer, it turns into, through crazy modern technology, it turns into a radio signal, a wireless digital signal, and it goes zoop, zoop, zoop through the air, and it comes onto your computer. So,
Rancho, don't do that.
And how do you find out what your Wi-Fi is?
it's another great question. So if you have, we'll digress for one moment here, folks. If you have a modem and a router, any device that you rent or pay for monthly from a service, maybe Spectrum, Cox, Xfinity, that box will often have the Wi-Fi name and password written on it.
Where you pay?
Where you pay, exactly. You have to
Yeah.
first find out who you pay.
Thank you so
You are
much.
very welcome, Simon. We'll talk more about Wi-Fi and things about that later. I know more hands, but I want to go over here to Vas. We got to get Vas because he's wearing a Mom's Computer t-shirt. So,
Okay.
Vas,
Yes, my question is, you just said that sometime we click on the subscribe button, unsubscribe button, and it goes to the subscribe. So what is the best way not to do that?
the best way to not instigate an email or awaken that beast of the account that sent to you is to not respond and immediately delete, unless it's something you know. Somehow you went to Big Five Sporting Goods and you get 2 emails a day from Big Five Sporting Goods, then you can unsubscribe. But if it's something that says like Democracy Network Now, fight for this, or those political ads, whatever they are, those are very hard to get rid of. Those lists they just grow and grow and grow. So I just delete them. I mean, if they're not important to me, if I don't want to read them. I don't unsubscribe. I unsubscribe from the companies I know, Pottery Barn, every place that you somehow gave your email to.
And sometimes I have noticed that if you click on unsubscribe, it does not get subscribed. And sometimes it is grayed out. They don't want you to unsubscribe.
Yeah, of course. It's a real trick. It's trick. The best way to unsubscribe is to not be there to begin with, but it's almost impossible. You want to see something, you get permission. So unsubscribe it's the same way you click anything on an email suspiciously. It could
So
be
when you subscribe, that person will know?
it's not a person, it's
Or
a software, like a big software. However, if it's a scam, when you hit unsubscribe, they get pinged and they figure, oh, let's send that person a couple more emails. They're interacting.
Oh, really? I didn't
All
know.
about engagement. That's how the con works. That's
Oh,
how love starts. You know what I mean? That first engagement. You know what I mean? That first wink. And obviously, that's how that goes. I want to get to some more questions. Boss, is that good for a moment?
No, just one thing more related to that one. So now there are some, like on my cell phone, I'm getting the unsolicited call. I block that one. Then they send from the other one. I block that one. I deleted 20 different numbers. I blocked them, but still, I don't know how many phones they have.
So
Yeah.
let's digress here for a moment too, because these are all scam topics. It's never a bad time to talk about that. When you get a call from a company now, that phone number is scrambled, which means it lasts just a few minutes and it's only outbound. So just the way a roulette, wheel spins around on the roulette table, click, 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 click. That's how fast those numbers are being changed, so they can't be tracked back.
Yeah, no, I don't answer that call. Like I know it is spam call, but I just like unhook that one. and then it stops automatically after a certain period of time. So I don't answer that. Then after that, I block it.
Yeah, but even blocking it, they're never going to call you from that same number again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's it
They
is
have
what it
different
is.
number, hundred of numbers.
It's not even like think of it hundreds of numbers. It's whatever math can create a billion or trillion infinity numbers. It's a wheel, it's a computer. It's just a algorithm spitting out the same way your social security number is made. It's the same sort of, spitting that out. It's
They're
math.
hunting out.
It's beyond human,
So they're
Gloria
hunting.
Coleman. I'm going to hit fast. I want to get to a few more people
Okay.
on this topic.
Thank you.
Gloria
Okay.
Coleman,
Hi,
I see
good
your hand up.
afternoon. My question is about report as spam. What effects does that have?
What comes to mind is when you get in a fender bender in your car, do you call the police or do you just trade auto, like insurance cards? Right? Like, because what are the police going to do in that fender bender, right? If it's just, two people. I don't know who you report, who's getting that spam. Like when you report that, I don't know who's seeing that. To me, it's just like another number not to be clicked. It's just, there's nothing there for anybody to report. It's an engagement, and I could write a button and write, oh, Beverly Clark got in. Maybe she got in with her computer. It's another button. So to me, I would delete that and not report that. I don't think it really does anything. I think, except maybe gets us to click something we shouldn't click.
Thank you.
Because, sometimes you'll go to a website, it'll say download here or download that, remove scam or any of those could be an ad placed on top of an email. Does that make sense? Like any of those buttons could go anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You can make you can write an email and create a link and say, click here to see the family pictures. And in that link would be a URL button, a code that sends you to a website that you're storing your family pictures. So
And not only that, when you put your cursor over who sent you that email, because I'll get those in spam, the thing that pops up doesn't even match the person that sent it. It's like a different coded email or something. But yet it says, come to Walgreens and get 5% off or something.
let me show Irene's on a very important note here. Let me show you something. So I'm going to go to my junk mail over here. Like all these, here's one, defend the LAPD, of course, but I don't know who this is. Over here, you can see it's very light gray where the email is coming from, who the exact sender is. And often if you get one that says, I think I've thrown them all away, LEWP, Blue Cross, Lacers, I'm not finding one at the moment. It won't really be from them. So you want to check. Right. So all those filters.
So those just delete.
Yeah, and I'm just not a big fan of clicking things on the screen in front of you. That's always how you get in trouble. It's like you never get in trouble by not touching the computer, right? Like I don't know, but like if you're just hands off, like nothing happens. It's when you click is when you go down that path. So I'm really, it's a measure twice, cut once. I have Ellen W.
Yes. Hi, Elijah.
Hello.
Yeah, I'd like to find out how do I create a mass contact email address in Gmail or in Yahoo?
So this is a good digression. In Yahoo or email, when you want to make a mass email group that you can send over and over again, if you're in a Lacers group or you have a church group or something, a group of people,
right?
You create that in your contact book. Google has a fantastic contact book.
Okay.
It's another conversation, another lesson, but their contact book is of world renown. And it's Google Contacts, and you can create a new contact. You can get, like I said, within that, you can create all your contacts, then a group, and just have a group with just the folks involved in that project.
Okay, and I create my own group name, right?
Yeah, whatever you want it to be. Like I said, it could be church, it could be,
anything, ABC,
any club,
group,
ABC, Lacers Club, fitness group, tax group, whatever it is.
Right. Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Where is that?
Do the same thing in Yahoo.
In Google. Is that under settings?
All right, let's take a look over here. All right, after this, we're gonna have more emails, and then we're gonna do the next topic because we got to talk about how to go to the beach and get Wi-Fi. So, all right, but let's do this. Okay, so everybody, I gotta know. I know we have a few more questions, and I'm not missing anybody. You're equal importance to me. However, put your questions in the chat, and in between class, hit us up. We love to hear from you in between class. It's less lonely for us. We love to not have to go outside and face the world as you and I were texts. Get us in front of our computer. So just call us. I don't want anybody to feel that. And this will be reviewable, okay? So let's talk about Google briefly for all you on the fencers, for all those that know how powerful Google is. I learned how powerful Google was during the pandemic when I was dealing with a family and we're talking about word processing, and I just realized the daughter was not using Microsoft Word, the same thing you used in your city practices your whole life, Microsoft products. And it was nowhere to be found. They were all using Google, a thing called Google Docs, because the student could work in Google Docs on the word processor and the teacher could look at the document at the same time. It wasn't like creating a piece of paper on your desk and then having to mail it and send it. So let's give a brief review here of where to find those fabulous tools. And they are. There's just nothing you can say about it. Maybe we're selling our souls to the technical demon, but the demon's giving something back here. So here's my Google homepage. On anybody's basic Google homepage, you'll see a grid. Oh, I like this tool. I'm going to annotate. Let's use the arrow. You see that grid here?
Yes.
Let me do this. There's a grid right here. You see the upper right of your computers?
Yeah.
Devices? I'm going to click that grid. In that grid, there are the different Google apps. The same way you have a taskbar or you have a toolbar on the bottom of an apple.
Yeah.
Google has its own apps. There's Docs, for example. There's my calendar. There's the contacts I was talking about. There's all of my different apps over here. So as we're going in the different apps, let's open contacts. There are my contacts. In my contacts, oh, by the way, they don't call contacts groups here. They call them labels. I'm going to create a label. I'm going to call this Lacers Test Label. Groups is probably copyrighted by Apple. And then I'm going to save that. Now I have that group. In that group, I can then open that group and I can add contacts. I can add, I can write new contacts, or I can add other contacts. I can go to all my whole list. I could open up Albert Fisher. I could add Albert Fisher to that group. I could populate that group. I have a group, called Mom's Computers Clients. There's a customers of mine for Mom's Computer in a group. I could send a mass email. I could put all this in one email and just have that sent to be me, sent to Elijah, but actually all these folks would be getting that email.
Wait, I missed the beginning of that. How did you start it?
Your first job here, I think, to learn, to fish around, it's because you can't hurt yourself. I mean, you create a contact and just delete it, is go to your Google page.
Yeah.
And locate that grid.
Got the grid. I have the grid.
And then open that up and then go to contacts.
Yeah.
And then play around in contacts. You can create a new contact, singular.
This is where I need you to go slower.
Okay, sure. No, thank you for that. You can create a new contact.
Okay.
Simply click on, I can create multiple contacts, but I'm going to create a singular contact.
Okay. So the multiple would be like a group?
Multiple is if I had a list.
A list.
Right. Or I could type them like this. I can go Voss at pacbell.net. And then I could write Jane at hotmail.com. I could add a whole list of them like that, one at a time. Or if I had them saved as an Excel file, I could upload that file. I could import them per se.
How could you import?
So that's another process. I'm not going to get too far into that, but I could import those by the list. But you can create a singular contact, or you can create multiple by writing them one after the other, separated by a comma. Once those are all prepared, you can create a label, a new label. You can populate that label with as many people as you want.
Elijah,
Uh-huh.
I just tried to do this, what you're saying on my iPad, and it asked me for my email. And so I put sallyking@gmail.com, and then it asked me for a password. So I put a password, I made one up,
Okay, so let's go step back here. This is what, not right in the middle of class. I mean, so I don't want you to get too far in there, Sally.
Well,
So go to this.
what I was going to say is, it's not. I'm not connecting the dots. I don't think.
So what it sounds like is, in order to use Google and have these features, you need to be signed into your Google account, or have a Google. If you don't have a Google account, create one. So for the very first thing to be able to get to your grid and all the Google features is to make sure you go to Google, sign in with your Gmail account and your password, your private password, and be in your Google account. Does that sound close, Sally?
Now it's telling, well, maybe. I think I might have multiple.
Yeah, you want to use one particular Google account that you know the email, sallyking@gmail.com, and the password.
Okay.
Because this is where it really tricks out. The reason you have to be signed in is that's like Google gives you stuff, but also when you create a document or you add a new contact, you use up space, and Google measures that space, and one day they'll say you're running out of space. I'm going to get away from the contact list. I'm going to close out the email part. Folks, you understand the crux of it. Anything that's rusty, hasn't been brushed up and looked at, makes you vulnerable. That's the whole point of this.
All right. I just have a quick question to close that out. I looked at under settings on my phone at Google. I have 4 Google accounts somehow. 4 Google. Now, can I just delete all of them and start over?
So,
or will I lose everything I have in Google?
This is a great, this, Sally, you're good. This is a good spot here, folks, because this is the path you're taking when you start exploring your old email addresses. You have 4 accounts. Now, if you've never used those accounts, if you go to each one individually, you go through the painstaking effort of recovering the password if you don't have it. If there's nothing in there, if you've never really used it, then you can get to the point where you can close that account. If you have things in there, then there's processes we can explain on how to keep the emails and the documents and move them forward. Or you just might want to save it and keep it dormant and use it when you need it, but not have it be your main Google account. But I wouldn't want 4 accounts out there if I didn't need it.
Oh God, it's such a mess now. It makes me nervous.
Well, I don't mean to make you nervous, but that's the point of this section of class. So we're going to close out now, because next we're going to go to the beach. So that's the point of this section, folks, is your emails are something to be attended to, just like your passwords, just like any other part of your personal, your financial or, personal structure.
Elijah, real quick, if you have Gmail, does that mean you automatically have a Google account?
Heck yeah, means you've done the job. You just got to sign in and use it.
Oh, is Google separate from Gmail though?
No, Gmail is the name of the email product Google gives you.
Oh, I'm so lost.
Yeah, no, Google has several products. Google is a company that creates several products. One of them is Gmail. One of them is Google Docs. One is Google Drive. Think of Google as the mother company, but underneath that umbrella, they have many products, Gmail being one of them.
Okay, so I could do all those docs and all that you just displayed?
Docs, Excel sheets, like accounting sheets.
I'm on my program.
PowerPoints. It's rich.
Wow.
And it's mostly free, except you give away, all your personal information while you put on your pizza.
One last question. Would you then recommend that you use Google Chrome as your browser?
Not necessarily. If you're comfortable with Safari or one of the other ones, just log into Google. I like Google Chrome.
Is good. Okay, definitely better than AOL Gold.
Yeah, no, the AOL Gold, those are paid things. You don't need to pay that stuff anymore. Right. Those are bordering scams. Thank you for mentioning that, Royce, because those are the things like Yahoo Platinum Plus Business with Protection you bought 10 years ago. Those are the things to start noting down. And by the way, you can note those down and we can talk about it in the next class. This seems to be a good topic. Let's go to the beach. Let's go to the beach. I mean, Hazel's in San Francisco. I don't know how warm it's going to be there. And I know that Ms. Moore is not by the beach, but let's go to the ethereal beach or the lake. Now, you have, just like the Google account is free, you have a smartphone. And who here has a smartphone?
I think I do. Yeah.
Who said that? Who said I think I do?
Simbri did.
Simbri, do you have little dots?
I just got rid of my house phone I had for
100 years and now I have this funny looking thing.
Yeah, welcome to the cult, Simbre. Join us. Join us.
It's here. And I got this too.
An Apple Watch.
Good.
Yeah, that's in case I fall down in the bathtub.
That's amazing. You're taking a bath with your Apple. That's decadent. That's just like you say. That's a decadent retirement, and we're all envious. A hot bath with Apple Watch.
Yes.
So let's get to the thing about your phone. Last month, we talked about that phone you have, that incredibly powerful device that we don't even know how good it is. We talked about last month the SOS features, just like the fall down features that you have on your phone.
Yes.
And that's in our video. So if you want to, Crystal can forward you that video of last month if you want to catch up on that. This month, I want to just briefly introduce you to a little something. It's called a hotspot. Who knows what a hotspot is? I'm not talking about TGI Fridays for the happy hour. Okay, so a hotspot, although that is a hotspot, I guess it used to be I'm dating myself, Bennigan's. So let me explain what a hotspot is. Your phone is a really powerful tool for an emergency and for use, for pleasure, for your kids, your grandkids coming over. Your phone gets on the internet and makes phone calls through a cellular service you pay for, separate than the Wi-Fi in your home, right? So, you pay Wi-Fi in your house, you get Wi-Fi on your computer and things. But when you're traveling, when you're at the store, when you're at Walmart, Miss Moore, you can use your phone. That is connecting through cellular. That means you're paying your provider, whoever that is, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, so on and so forth. That phone can create a Wi-Fi network. It's a fabulous thing. That phone can become like a little antenna. It can, through a couple of buttons, that phone can create a network, and I'm going to show you. And that Wi-Fi network will have a name. It could be, in my case, it's mom's computer. It can have a password. Once you turn that on, the kid next to you can go on his tablet or her tablet or laptop or computer, go connect to Wi-Fi, see the name of the network, your hotspot, and get on the Wi-Fi. That can be used in a hotel room that has bad Wi-Fi. That could be used in a public space. That can be used when the power's out in your house, but the internet's still up. Let me go and do something interesting and show you that.
You need a password to get on it?
I'm going to show you, you do not. I'm going to do something interesting. I'm going to be through the modern technology. I'm going to join our meeting from my phone and share my phone screen. You do not, you just need to be on your phone, signed into your phone normally, as most folks.
But don't you have to have your Wi-Fi information in order to get in Wi-Fi?
No, but that has confused me for a while too. You don't, because you're not using your Wi-Fi, you're using the cellular connection you pay for, the AT, whoever your provider is, and making that a hotspot. So it's unrelated to the hotspot at home. Let me try this again. 969. It's a really good tool. Who uses a hotspot? Does anybody know what I'm talking about when I talk about this?
I've used my phone before, my old phone, as a hotspot. Now I would have to pay extra.
And what did you use it for? Like what purposes, Jeanette, did you find it useful?
I was at my father's home and I wanted to use my computer, so.
Perfect. That's a perfect example.
In the library.
Okay, I'm using mine right now because my extender is kind of wonky, so I'm using my iPhone as a hotspot. And I guess the hotspot is wonky too.
Who said that?
On a freeze. This is Beverly. I said I'm using my iPhone right now as a hotspot because my extender is wonky, but it seems like the hotspot might be wonky.
Beverly,
too.
step back. This is really good information for people so they understand. So when Beverly mentioned the extender, what you're saying is wherever she's located now in her place, the Wi-Fi signal is not strong. Let's say you're in your office and the Wi-Fi signal is stronger in the living room.
That's where I am.
So it's a little weaker. How did I guess? So what she's doing is she's saying, well, I'm going to skip the Wi-Fi in the house that I pay for. I'm going to take my phone, which has a good, strong signal where I am. I'm going to turn that into Wi-Fi and then use that to run my computer and get on my devices. And that's, I think, a pretty smart convenience.
Now, is that based on the carrier in order, don't each carrier have a different plan for a hotspot?
I think that you are probably right about that. You are probably right about that.
My son has AT&T and he doesn't have the option of a hotspot. I have Verizon and I do.
Yeah, all plans don't have hotspot.
That's probably correct. That's probably correct.
So,
For it, like I
so,
would $5 more. And they're also available at the library. I want to let you know that for free.
Yeah, the library, many places have.
But are they secure?
That was my question about the password.
Yeah, I mean, the phone is pretty secure and it's not a very strong signal, so it's hard for somebody to tap in.
No, at the library. Would
For
it
the
be
library, yeah,
secure
the
at the
library is a
library?
public, the library is a public.
You can get a hotspot from the library to take with you to go somewhere else and use it. So
The
that,
library is public.
so
Be
that's
careful.
that's about the password. So if you don't need a password, does that
Let
mean?
me show you. Do you see my Android here?
Yeah.
Ready to see my Android here?
Yes, we saw your Android.
So I'm gonna go to the top here. I'm gonna open the settings.
Careful. Settings, okay.
In the settings, I'm gonna go to connections. Does sound like Bennigan's connections. Then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scroll down and I'm gonna see mobile hotspot and tethering. I tap that.
Hoping it's secure on the phone, but I don't know if it's secure on a hotspot that you can just pick up and carry and use.
So let me finish explaining this and then we'll talk about security and what I use this for. I don't use it for. Obviously, I'm not going to, use a hotspot for certain things, but so there's my hotspot. It's off. I'm going to turn it on. My password, my network name is mom's computer. Oh, my password is mom's computer. I'm going to turn that switch on. Here's an interesting note. I can't use my hotspot from one Wi-Fi source. My hotspot's going to be used for my cellular source, the one I pay for a walkie-talkie so my phone can go around. I'm going to turn that off. And now it's creating a hotspot. And now there's a hotspot there. And so now I've created a hotspot on my
You
phone.
did turn off your Wi-Fi?
I had it turned off my Wi-Fi. That turned off the Wi-Fi. But now, see, I have a hotspot. Now let me show you the magic of this. Let me close this. How do I get out of here? All right, so now I'm going to share my computer screen.
Well, when you turn off your Wi-Fi, it actually means that you turn off or you stop using the Wi-Fi access, right? It doesn't-
Exactly. I'm using my cellular connection to create a Wi-Fi spot.
Right. So
Now-
everyone will still be using the Wi-Fi in the house, but you're.
Yeah, for everything else, just for the phone. But usually that won't matter because you won't be in a Wi-Fi setting. You'll be somewhere there's no Wi-Fi to begin with. But now if you look in the right side of my screen, I have two choices here. I have Good Vibrations Dude is my regular network. That's my main Wi-Fi network.
Right now, we don't see your screen. We only see everybody on the screen.
Look in the upper right, in the very far upper right.
Oh. Okay.
You might have to slide our pictures or image away from the upper right of your screen.
So we have to create our own password for that then.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you'll give you an automatic one, or you can make your own. I like to tap it and put in my own, make it a simple one.
Okay.
To tell the kids, just log on to, ABC and the password's ABC.
Yeah, Elijah,
Yeah.
one quick question. When you say you need to enter your password, do you use the Wi-Fi password or your telephone, mobile phone password?
When you create your hotspot, it'll tell you the name of your hotspot. It could be Jane's hotspot. It could be, say, Android 3 hotspot, and it'll have a password there. You could, in that option, use the password they automatically provide for you, which could be like capital Q, lower R, 1-6. You know how those go. Or you can go and usually tap your finger there and make your own homebrew, something simple.
Oh, okay. But I don't need to remember that particular password, right?
Exactly. You don't need
It's just
to
a one-time password to access the hotspot.
Yes, every time you hit that hotspot button in the settings, it'll show you that password again, by the way.
Okay, thank
you. Elijah,
Yes,
I just looked on my iPhone rather than an Android device. And it appears that under the Wi-Fi setting,
Yeah,
it says auto join hotspot, and you can click on automatic.
that's different. That's different. That means if you want your phone to automatically connect to a pre-made hotspot.
Oh,
What you're going to be looking for on an Apple is the hotspot option, which I know there is.
It
Yeah,
says personal
there's one.
hotspot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it says personal hotspot.
Yeah.
where does it
May,
say
may,
that?
The settings.
It's just a separate, it's
just
listed
keep
under.
scrolling, keep scrolling down.
Yeah, it's in there. You'll find it.
It would be interesting to know how many people actually use that.
Let me
Out
tell
of
you something
all-
right now, Miss
Out of
Moore.
all the other things, Elijah, it's what I'm saying, out of all the other attractions, how many people use that? And how many people, especially with the panel, really need it?
So let me tell you something right now, and hold your hats, everybody, okay? My neighbors next door just bought a giant, expensive condo. They're 22 years old. They've made that money on TikTok, making videos. Okay, that's what they do. They're influencers. They use that hotspot 24 hours a day. That commerce all goes through. They're running around doing what they do and using that hotspot to use a camera to shoot their little videos. I would say 40% of phone users are using a hotspot on their phone. It is fabulously powerful tool. Israel, your folks use the hotspot?
A few of us honestly use it. I personally use it a lot since I'm always out working now.
Hear this, folks?
Oh, okay. Good to know.
I use it at my job. I use it literally. I just went fishing the other day. I was on the boat. I was about 6 miles out in the water. I have no service out there, but with the hotspot, it changes a lot. So really cool.
That's
No,
good
folks, I
to
think that about says it. I mean,
Well, Isaiah, you know more than we know, Isaiah.
Yeah.
We're learning. You know much more than us.
It's crazy. But where it would work for you is when the Wizard of Oz tornado comes through and the power line is down, and you can still turn your phone on.
Join me or back down?
Oh, okay. Oh, that's important. So if you don't have internet, but you get the ability to get to the internet through your cellular.
And then you turn your if you have a laptop or a tablet that has a battery, you know, and you turn your laptop on and connect to that. By the way, for you Californians, I've heard this story. I don't know if it's true, but they called Jerry Brown Governor Moonbeam. I always thought just because he was, you know, sort of a spacey guy. But what I read was in the early 70s, he had an idea, this is now common, to place our emergency service communications on a satellite, like an early 1970s satellite floating above California somewhere, because we're a state of floods and fires and all that stuff, right? So he proposed some kind of budget for it, and they made fun of him and said, "Oh, Governor Moonbeam, he's going to beam our information to the satellite." Fast forward, that's how you and I are meeting here on Zoom. Our information is being shot up there, but that's the concept of that. If you have a laptop or a tablet, or somebody, the neighbor does, you know, and you can fire that hotspot up.
Doesn't that compromise your information if your neighbor or you're at a coffee shop and somebody jumps on your hotspot?
No, it's each person that signs in has their own network, their own portal to the internet. You know, would I let a stranger do it? I wouldn't let a stranger in my house get on my Wi-Fi, but not so much. No, I mean it's a Wi-Fi network. It's a secure Wi-Fi network on your phone.
Mine says allow others to join.
Yeah, that would mean you could let the fishing boat, you're on the boat with Israel, you could let everybody, all the Israels join. You know what I mean?
But that's the only way I can get into my hotspot is to allow others to join.
That's because that's the base concept of the hotspot. That's to allow others to join your created hotspot. You know,
And now doesn't Wi-Fi also show other people that may be in your area, wherever, that's also on Wi-Fi?
I got you, Uma. That's a great question. When you look at your Wi-Fi choices, you often see all your neighbors, like, because it's a radio signal just porting it. No different than like the old TV with the rabbit ears. You know, all those channels are coming in. It's a matter of you clicking each one on the knob. So But you can't join them without a password. That's
Okay,
the,
but that was
Oh,
me,
good.
Moore. That was me with that question.
yeah, no,
Moore.
I know you, Ms. Moore. These are the best questions straight out of the.
It's a beautiful thing because with the hotspot, if you have a device connected, it tells you on your device what's connected. So if somebody else were to connect to your device, you would see on your phone who or what's connected on there.
Right.
Right.
Okay, folks, we are going to move on to something that we need to move on to, but I got a commitment here from everybody. When you make
Linda has her
Yeah.
hand up.
Oh, Linda, give me one moment. I'm going to get to everybody. I just want to mention this as a note that I missed. So,
Okay.
hold on, did anybody get their burger yet? Because I'm halfway through mine. Thank you so much. Amber.
I didn't get mine.
All right, Mo, it's good. It's good. But here we go. We're going to get to some tech questions. We're going to get to some other things first. But let's get to Linda. You had that question.
Yeah, on my phone and everything, when I'm not on Wi-Fi, it comes up with, instead of the little lines and everything, it comes up with the LITE or something,
right.
and I can still, is that the same as a hotspot?
Yeah, it is. No, the LITE, that's a fast network, LTE, is your cellular network. That's the network that you're paying your provider for. That's the mobile network that your phone's connecting to.
Right.
Time you travel, you leave the house and you're mobile with your device. So
Well, yeah. I guess I'm not getting it quite, because years ago, I used a hotspot. It was a little square thing, like almost like a phone, and I would turn it on when I go to a hotel that didn't have Wi-Fi, and I could use that. But
so that is very good. I want to do something here. They also make those. This is a portable hotspot. You see this thing? This little puck?
that's about what it looked like.
Right. That's much more powerful. For example, if I know Jeanette, I met Jeanette at our live lasers classes back in the day. And I would bring
Take a look, this
these,
hotspot. Take a look.
and you could all plug into it. You means like we can go to the meet at the room at the Hilton, and you could all plug in and have Wi-Fi from this network. The beauty of this is that your phone has one of those in there. So you have one. You don't really need, the technology's gotten so good. While this is stronger, Linda, like this is a more powerful tool, this one would still work, like you have there. So that hotspot, think of it as a software technology, not so much as a physical device.
Okay.
Is that what they use? Like when you're on a bus tour and they tell you have Wi-Fi on your bus, so they probably have one of those devices for a personal hotspot?
Exactly what the bus does, just to be interesting about that. And then we're gonna move on to some scam busting here because we are getting on time. What the bus does is they have a little satellite dish on their bus that ports in to a service they pay for, a tracking satellite. So then inside the bus, they have a hotspot. They have a modem router, like a one in your house. And then you can get there. It's a little fancier. You usually have to put in your ticket number or something like an airplane, you've all tried to do the Wi-Fi in an airplane. It's the same concept. So that's why I'm going to move on from this topic, but it's in your pocket for most of you. And it's a really useful tool. I hope to see you at the beach, and maybe I can, Israel and I can hack onto your hotspot and get some.
Elijah, can I just ask a quick question?
Of course.
Yeah. Is it secure to use the hotspot for financial matters using the phone?
It's a great question. I don't necessarily, when I need financial information on my phone, I'll go to the app for Wells Fargo. If I'm in a situation where I am at the beach or at the hotel or at this, the place, at the fishing boat, I'm probably not going to use the hotspot to check my information. Not so much for hacking. I'm afraid I'm going to lose the signal in the middle of my looking at it. It's a hotspot.
Right. I see.
It's a spot that's hot for that moment. I no further way to say that, right? A spot that's hot for that moment. But as we all know, hotspots change. You know what I mean? Like they cool off, and so I wouldn't do it for those features. But in an emergency, I do have the app on my phone for like Wells Fargo or some of those things, and I do check it neurotically sometimes. Yeah. Like I might send mail my big tax one. I kept checking my checking account. Did it come through yet? Did it come through yet? Did it come through yet? And so, I would be cautious in those natures.
Right. But then if I use an email from my smartphone, that's not considered using hotspot, right? Or
No, that's going through the network. A hotspot would simply be like an antenna you have in your pocket to get to the internet for other devices.
Okay, great. Thank you.
How do you turn it off? Do you just turn it off?
Just turn off that button and it shuts it right off.
Okay, and that closes out anybody that's jumped on it
That
also.
closes out, right? So if somebody's on that network, goodbye, kaput.
Okay.
you
And they can't see what you're doing on the hotspot, even if they're on your hotspot?
Well, once you turn the hotspot off, nobody can have access to it anymore. You've shut the lights off. You've clicked that
Okay.
button and you're done.
Thank you.
Elijah,
Um,
can you also explain a little what Bluetooth is all about?
What do you say, YouTube?
Blue.
Bluetooth, we're talking about Bluetooth, absolutely. Before we close Bluetooth, it's a small little something. So we get a lot of calls at the shop. Who here for LA work for law enforcement or some branch of law enforcement? Give a shout out.
I used to.
Okay, so we have.
LAPD.
All right, go, LA Blue. So
I was an admin.
okay, oh, that counts. There's every link in the chain counts. So this is a quick little story I just want to share with you about the power of these hotspots. I don't know why I'm thinking of it now. So we get a lot of calls at the shop. We just have an 800 number and we advertise on Google. I get a call from, it says, hello, you've reached, this is the Idaho Correctional Facility. It's a phone call from somebody at an Idaho Correctional Facility. It's a collect call and there'll be 3 minutes if you accept. So I didn't know, I said yes. A lady answered the phone and she had a hacking issue. She had called her daughter in some money, it was missing from her bank account. And she was nervous because she told me she had used the computer wherever she was, where she's incarcerated. And I was curious, like how, I didn't know if there was a program, they had a library. She said that within the prison, I guess there's contraband and somebody can get on a hotspot and then rent time on that phone to other people and the other prisoners.
Wow.
That's how powerful that little thing is. You know what I mean? Like, so you can go.
All right.
I guess what she explained to me, there's not much I could do to help her, except don't do that. I said, don't do that, And it's funny though, in that conversation, I said to her, I said, yeah, she clicked the miss email. She got onto the hotspot. She thought it was her bank. And somehow she gave a scammer, she lost $38, which is a lot of money to people. And her quote was, she said, how could people do that today? And I was just thinking to myself, what a funny phone call, but anyway, I'm going to stop that. That is the power of the hotspot. That is like reporting in.
But don't leave yet on the correctional facilities. Tell me, how do they get your phone number, meaning mine and other people? They call you up and ask you if you will accept the call. I used to get several calls, but one time I got a call. It was from a guy that was incarcerated in prison, and come to find, I worked with his mother. She didn't know that he was communicating with me, and I didn't know it was his mother.
Well, be careful of all that stuff. Yeah, wow. I mean, I thought what's interesting about this topic was the power of that Wi-Fi. By the way, that I think half of the Ukrainian army has been using hotspots in the field, to get their information. So anyway, we're going to move on. It's just that in your pocket now, that device that was worth X amount to you before, hopefully is worth even more, knowing you have the power of Wi-Fi in your pockets. So folks, let's do a 7th inning stretch. Let's move up and stretch a little bit. We're going to have some prizes today, and we have some more topics, but I want to show you what some of our prizes are. For those that have won a t-shirt already, you'll be getting a gift card, but for those that have not, here's our t-shirt. You'll be winning in our Tech Jeopardy session. There is the back of our t-shirt, small, medium, large, and XLs. There's our front. You can see our super winners right now. You will get a ship. For those that haven't gotten yet, they will get there. So let me give you a little sampling while you stretch of what our first tech question will be as we get to the 4:30 hour. So here we go. Tech Jeopardy question number 1. Ooh, this is a summer topic. I hope you'll be putting the computer down once in a while, but coming back to Techless every month and getting in the backyard and barbecuing. That's what we're famous for. We're barbecuing. The barbecue is a tech piece of equipment, right? It's like it moves heat and coal. But the only real innovation in barbecue came when they moved from coal, your old Kingsford coals, to propane. We're not going to answer this question yet. Don't Google it. But what year was the propane barbecue introduced to the American market? What was the year that the old coals that they did in the 50s changed and you could go to Sears Roebuck and buy yourself a propane? So we're not answering that yet. Just put that in your craw. We have some other topics. All right. We'll move on to another topic that's pretty important to everybody. And this is our scam busting. Oh, I'm going to back up one moment. we had a short request on how to use online financial tools. I want to pop into this real quick. So, you have a retirement fund, and you have maybe a rental property, or maybe an income, or maybe you're still working, and you have expenses, and you have so much back and forth. Members have been asking, just the same way you got confused at how many emails you have, how do you put all your finances in one place? Is there a safe place where you can line up your bank accounts, your credit cards, your debits and your credits, your vendors, from the gardener to the housekeeper to the healthcare staff, so on and so forth? And there is. Now, let me do a little disclaimer. This goes if you trust the computer. This company is called Quickbooks Online by Intuit, a very trustworthy, largely publicly traded company. So we're going to just go over the premise that it's safe for now, and what it can do, and one of the conveniences. And one of the conveniences is if you can see everything in one place, and you can slowly build your chart of accounts, and just have a quick place to look at everything, you can see if you get that $39 scam charge on your credit card. You won't be running to every credit card all the time, every single time. So I'm gonna give you a brief overview. QuickBooks Online is no different than a ledger sheet we all learned on at the beginning, or Quicken is something you might have heard of, or those in the finance department in the city. It's nothing different, but it's personal for you. I'm going to share my screen and just give you a little brief understanding. So let me close that. Let me give you a look over here. So there's QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online is something we talked about. How do you get your finances? You can go to QuickBooks Online on your computer, on your phone, on your tablet. You're going to a website, a safe, secure website. Oh, let me get that down here. And on that safe, secure website, you're looking at your data. Now, let's just fast forward. You've done it. You've signed up. It's not overly expensive. That is what a dashboard looks like. It's just a primer, folks. Let's say where it says Craig's Design and Landscaping Service, that is Royce's finances. And I'll go up here. Let me move that. And so that would be you. On the left, it gives you options. One option that I like is banking. I can link my bank. If you look to the far right, I can link my checking account, my savings account, and a credit card. That means all day, throughout the day, my bank is reconciling against the expenses I put in my account. It's a live view of what's really happening. My sales, that would be the money coming in. That would mean, I'm going to say retirement, that could be rental, whatever money's coming into you from any source, you would mark those sales. Expenses would be your healthcare monthly expense, your whatever outgoing expense. Your workers would be regular vendors, people that do things for you regularly. Like I said, could be the gardener, could be the home healthcare person, could be your accountant. Reports are always great. At any time of the day or month, you can coagulate all your reports and see where your money's going and see where things are and get a better flow. Of course, you can organize your taxes. You can create two accounts. You could do your home in Oklahoma and your home in Lakewood, or your sister's account, or the person you care for's account. You can have several of these. And then what I like is it's going to be connected to my bookkeeper or account. So throughout the year or in tax time, they can go through my books and reconcile. This is what the basic dashboard looks like. You can watch your month. The next feature I want to show you folks is what the chart of accounts looks like. So we all remember the checkbook, and you would be in that checkbook with a little sleeve and would be running it at the end of every month. Obviously, this makes it a little easier. You can have the name of your vendor and your expense, what it's for, whether it's taxable, a detail, what the expense is for, and you can run a report against that. You can see everything going out. Many of them can be pre-automated. So if you have a monthly expense from the electricity, which goes up and down, you can automate that so that shows. The concept behind this, and I think why it was asked for to do a little introduction, is because right now, for me to go, and let me show you this. It's for me to go check my finances. I'm going to go to my bookmarks. There's one finance tab. Look at that. From my mortgage down to how I pay my taxes. All right. There's a credit card tab. So there's a lot of stuff, right? Here, I can aggregate it into sort of one place. Check everything. So I'm going to stop this. I'm not advocating, I'm not getting a commission on these sales. But it was something, let me just clean something up here. It was something that was asked for from the group. I guess one of the benefits is if you take the time slowly to do this properly and you trust it and you trust your equipment and your Wi-Fi connection, your stuff is not so alone and in the wilderness. And aging is just a true part. That's my mom calling. I'm on FaceTime. So the concept is, I'm gonna take some questions of this. I think you all get it. It's like messy head, messy bed, you know, like if everything's in one place, and we've all heard of QuickBooks and QuickBooks Online. Before I take some questions, average cost is about $12 a month for that service. I'll take any questions on that. Please, Royce, unmute yourself.
My daughter-in-law set that up for me, but then I realized I didn't need that much complexity. If you have a simple life and no business and things like that, and your main source of income is your pension, you can get all that same information through the banks. I've discovered that, you know, like Chase, they have things called Credit Journey. They have, and then you can get like at the end of the year, they give you a report that summarizes all your expenses. So you can get a lot of that via your bank if you don't want to go, you know, as far as the QuickBooks. You don't need the Quick. Yeah, it's so.
QuickBooks is just an online ledger sheet where, you know, you can put everything into one thing. And,
but you can get a lot of it. You can get a lot. You can really monitor your expenses pretty well through your bank, you know, as well.
Yeah, I do it because, you know, there's a lot of streams, you know.
Yeah, right. And you've got a business. And
but I use it for personal. I do have like, you know, a couple little things. So I guess, and also I guess it's the sharing aspect people like. A lot of accounting firms now will say, yeah, share your QuickBooks account. And so it's a mobile world. So yeah, no, it's not for everyone. It's certainly, we are all different situations over here, but it is something out there and fairly well used, and it was requested. Any other thoughts on online financing? Everybody's good. They hit the lottery. All right, let's do some scam busting, some old school scam busting. Okay, so we've got a good scam that came through a little while ago, and it came through Laister's, believe it or not. Not through Laister's organization, through one of our attendees. An email went around from a person, and that email said, can you please send me, click this link, I need a little bit of help. The computer's been out this week. Signed, Jane Garcia. Jane Smith, whatever. Well, somebody took that bait and then went down the line and sent somebody some money via a gift card, the old gift card scam. So believe it or not, because I had been worked with that person before, I got that email as well. And the very first thing I did was call that person.
Yeah.
I knew that person well enough. Like most of you, if you get something that you know, if Hazel Harris gets something from Gloria Olivas and you're like, I don't think Gloria sells vacation rentals in Maui, it's okay to call that friend and say, if you need to go on your email account and change the password. It's as simple as changing the password. It's easy for those to get hacked. Has anybody gotten an email from a friend that's like, oh my, and your knee jerk is like, that's from Billy, you know, like I just spoke 2 minutes ago.
I got something from a text, and that from the ladies. It said that the gal had my number in her phone and wanted to set up her phone with my contact. But yeah, I didn't do anything with it. Would changing, how would you change a text? You know, get somebody off of the text.
So these things, all of these devices, watch these videos on Laister's YouTube, all these, whether they're coming from your friend by mistake or it's a text or a phone call, are phishing expeditions. They are throwing bait out there and hoping somebody clicks or is not thinking. And it's
because I didn't answer it and I just deleted it.
They're purely based on emotion. But the moral of this story is how important it is to check those email passwords. And that's what sent me on this email tangent this month. Because this went out and a lot of people lost money. And I was surprised that it was so effective. You know, it seemed so, you know, pedantic and obvious, you know, like to you and me, we would know if somebody said, hey, get rich quick scheme. But people took that bait. So how do you identify those? Well, just as we talked about clicking this is scam button, don't click anything on your computer so fast. Hands off. backup. That is the pause. That when that, I've said this before, I sort of like it. I don't know what it is about. So when you're looking at a small screen, and within that small screen, you're looking at another small screen. It's like I'm looking down a mirror, right? I think like people of a certain generation, certainly mine, think that a small screen is an episode of I Love Lucy, and that you're gonna have a complete arc. You're gonna have hello, you're gonna have the problem, you're gonna have the problem again, you're gonna have the solution, it's gonna be a complete 30-minute arc that all has to be done now. If you're not sure if that hair on the back of your neck stands up, don't click anything. That's when you stop. That is the pause button. And that is inside of, you're the ultimate virus protection. I mean, each one of you is the filter. And the better you train yourself now to do that, the better off we'll be in 10 years from now. If your first reaction is to like not go there or do that or try to resolve. Yes, we have Anthony Garcia. Oh, good, Anthony. Well, how can I help you?
Hi, I'm kind of new to the group here. Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear, sir.
Oh, okay, good enough. I got a text the other day, and the text said, it was from Chase, and said that someone logged on to my checking account at 5:30 in the morning. And I said, God, I wasn't up at 5:30 in the morning doing that, any banking. And I take the initiative because I'm real skeptical about that. And I called Chase first chance I got in the morning. I said, is this what you guys do? He says, well, let me check your activity. And he wanted to check my activity. And he says, we don't have any record of anybody logging in. And he said, just ignore it and do not click on it. Just delete it.
Anthony Garcia wins the Scam Buster Award of the day. Where are you located, Mr. Garcia? What part of where? Like General City? Where are you located?
Up in Montebello, California.
Israel, get Mr. Garcia's size and address. We're sending him a T-shirt.
I'd love to have one.
Because this is exactly what we preach. Hold on a second. I'm getting rid of my this is what we preach. When you get an email, go directly to the source. Don't trust that email. You did the right thing. You took your credit card. You called it. Hold on, folks. I got to deal with this 1 second. Let me just 1 second. I'm getting.
I mean.
1 second, folks. I'm so sorry.
Your mom needs you desperately. I got that same text, and I've gotten it several times, and I've just ignored it. I
All right, sorry about that, folks. Yeah, so, I don't mean to interrupt you. When you get that, look at the back of your credit card, get your LADWP bill, call Jane, call Uma, call the person, go directly to the source. Those shortcuts will lead down a bad road. And if you would have gone there, Anthony, and you would have clicked that, they would have gotten a hold of you. And they wouldn't have said, they would have said your credit card's bad, but the charge is the IRS and you're now down $10,000 and you have an agent. And let me tell you how to pay that. They would guide you down some long road of a con. So that was a great example, folks.
Yeah.
And
sometimes if it's from my bank, because I do bank with Chase, but how do they know that?
It's just a scam. They can send out, there's a lot of Chase users in Montebello, or Southern California. So they could just send, and there's a lot of Anthony Garcias too, nothing personal.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
You could load that out. And if I just call it the name, if I go, it's Anthony Garcia with Chase Bank, there's a rebate, I'm sure a couple people will turn around. You know what I mean? And just same way, it's just a total scam. All right, so folks, watch your emails. Watch your emails. Well, it's getting 4:30. I think it's time for a game of Tech Jeopardy. Before we go, Jeanette, any other questions?
Yeah. Oh.
You okay, Jeanette?
I kind of forgot what my question was.
Well, you know where to find us. Uma, you had your hand up earlier.
I think I got my answer.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Anybody else have any? Irene, any of my Miss Briscoe, any hands up before we go to our Tech Jeopardy, because it's
Beverly has a question.
Please, Beverly, and then Irene.
Okay, this is going back to the hotspot. Okay, I also have a hotspot in addition to my iPhone. Is that hotspot device necessary? Because I pay like $10 a month for the hotspot.
You know, I do the same. That device I showed you, that little hockey puck looking thing, I pay
Right.
$10 a month. After I finish paying for the device, I drop about $10 a month for it. So I
Yeah.
use mine for groups, or if I go to fix a computer on site that doesn't have good Wi-Fi, I can use that, you know, as a tech. If
Yeah,
you
when
don't have any-
yeah.
What were you using it for?
When I go on vacation or I go to someone's home that does not have hotspot, or I'm in a meeting and I need to have a hotspot and I'm using my phone as well.
What I would do, yeah, so in that case, you sound pretty active if you're still doing that stuff. You might want to keep that. That's a nice little,
Okay.
you know, it's $20 a year, but it's a
Yeah.
mobile, it's a little more robust than your phone. And you can be on your phone. I mean, you can be on your phone while the hotspot's going. But the
Right.
idea
Yeah,
that
you
have that
can.
thing in the corner plugged into
Yeah.
the wall is a nice feature.
Yeah.
It's a nice convenience.
Okay.
Anthony,
Use it on a cruise.
you can use, you know,
Just
cruises are a good one.
question,
Let's
Google.
back up. Cruises are weird because if you're out of satellite from the provider of that hotspot, you might not be able to. You might have to rely on the cruises relationship, because a cruise might not be as easy. You're right. Cruises might be, you want to check your cruise situation.
Yeah. They'll knock the price up.
Excuse
We
me.
had another
How do
one.
you
Anthony?
understand?
Elijah, do I have to have Microsoft Edge on my computer?
No, you do not, although it's not a bad thing to have. If you have a Windows computer, it's a good browser.
Well, the thing is about a week or so ago, when I went through that scam thing where they wanted me to pay $299 and I told them I didn't need that, they shut me down immediately and I had to take it to Staples twice for them to reset. So Staples made it where I was going through Google on my internet and stuff. A week or so ago, Microsoft shut me out from Google's. My screen, the background of my screen was black. All the writing was yellow.
We need a session. I need to get on your computer screen remotely. Like have one of these, just you and I. You get an hour with your, you know, your Zoom.
That sounds
Okay.
with lasers. We got to check that computer. Well, we'll give you-
Okay.
Edge is the native browser for a Windows computer, and it's good to keep on there, but Google's a mighty powerful browser. I got to hit a few more, but please, you never call me between sessions, and this month I expect the call, Miss Moore.
Okay, I will.
do you raise your hand?
Questions?
Gloria's hand is up.
Yeah, Gloria, go right ahead.
Yeah, I just received a text message right now. It's saying EDD urgent message. I didn't open it. Your EDD prepaid debit card, blah, 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 blah. I can't read the.
Get rid of it. Are you on unemployment? Are you on unemployment or anything? I mean,
no.
Yeah, well, delete,
That's probably
move
scam,
on.
right?
Yeah, that would very likely be a scam.
If you're not in
How-
unemployment, then I wouldn't even bother looking at it.
delete
That- That's out the window.
And even if you're on unemployment or have some recent history, you can go to your EDD website account directly, like Anthony called. You can go edd.com, log in properly, and see what activity you have on your account. That would be the bypass, even like per se you did, you know, have that to deal with.
I think when I got that same notice that the other fellow did from Chase, that's what I did. I went to my Chase account and I looked and saw that there was no activity. That's how I, rather than
Yeah,
calling.
you
them,
got
I
it.
just-
We're
yeah.
learning. And and really, if you're hot in that moment or you're confused, just pause. Pause. I swear, and think of me and think of the free t-shirt you'll get if you beat that scammer. Okay. Let's do a few more questions. We are running out of time, so I want to get to we have some great Tech Jeopardy questions. LNW and then Anthony. Miss LNW. Your hands up, maybe walked away. Anthony, why don't you go?
Hi,
Oh,
Elijah.
go
Yeah,
ahead.
okay, sorry, I forgot my phone. Yeah, I have a question about tablet. So if, because right now I'm paying extra like $10 a month just for that tablet service together with my other phones, mobile service. I have a Verizon Wireless, and I'm not, I only use that when I like on a Zoom meeting or certain things like that. And I was using it if I need to go out of town and I might need to use it. But because at home I can use Wi-Fi, so I don't really
Correct.
need that $10 extra data connection service.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if I go out of town and I bring a tablet, as long as if the hotel has the Wi-Fi, can I just connect that with that Wi-Fi?
Absolutely.
And then I don't need that internet.
I have iPad right here, I use all the time, an iPad Air that's Wi-Fi only. Like when they sold it, it was only Wi-Fi. It didn't have that cellular option. And I just go, whenever I go somewhere, I just connect to the Wi-Fi. And when I'm at the beach, that's the one, that's the beater, my beach beater. I use that and I connect to the hotspot on my phone.
Oh, okay.
Right.
But that one, I don't have a phone number. I mean, I have a number, but it's not considered as
Yeah.
a phone.
No, you
at
just
all.
connect
It's
that.
just a
I wouldn't
tablet.
pay unless you really want to sit in the park, or you want to have that in a car or in one of those mobile spots. Folks, we're going to move
Okay,
on.
thank you.
You're more than welcome, and we'll get
Thank
more.
you, thank you.
Right, are you ready for some Tech Jeopardy? Are our competitive spirits getting up over here? Okay, here we go. Anthony, you have a question while I draw up our Tech Jeopardy?
Just a quick one. I'm really fascinated by the mobile hotspot. I've always wondered how it would work. I'm glad we covered some of that today. I'm at the screen where it says mobile hotspot. I just turned it on and it says network name Samsung Galaxy. And I do have a Samsung Galaxy.
That's fine.
S6 Edge, which I don't have the S6 Edge. I have a Note 10 Plus. So, and then there's already a password in there and then a bandwidth. Now, it also says to configure on the bottom. Now, am I seeing someone else hacking on my phone or?
No, no.
You're not being
Those are just other devices in the area. It's just reading devices in the area like an antenna.
Okay, so how do I get to use my phone? Do I have to configure it?
Don't do it now in the middle of class, but yes, you'd configure it. And that would allow you to turn it on and then share that and then open up another device and see that.
Okay.
But, but we'll go through those steps, but yes, you're there. You're 80% there, Anthony.
Okay, okay.
It's a great tool.
I'm gonna play around with it a little bit. Do you have an email we could shoot you some questions with?
Boy, I invite Anthony for ask one question about 20 minutes ago, and now the barbecue. Okay, Anthony, be honored to hear from you, sir. Let me type this in. Israel, could you put help@momscomputer.com and my cell phone in the? Can you find your chat section, Anthony?
My tab section?
The chat section in your Zoom.
Yeah, it's right here, right?
Yeah, Israel's going to type that in. And
I think I just did.
And then you're going to put and you'll see my phone number and email, and I'd love to hear from you, from any of you.
Made a mistake.
Okay, he'll fix it. No, Jeanette, you can't use your hotspot in Europe. You have to have a special service. Like when you go, you have to turn your phone on to have that overseas service, depending on your browser, on your phone provider.
So I did go in the chat section, but I said to everyone, would you pick that up?
No, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put look in the chat section. You're going to look at my email. And then I'm going to put my cell phone.
Gotcha.
Then we're getting to some Jeopardy here. All right, let's roll the dice. Okay.
Got it.
So the prize today, the first prize today is a brand new Tesla X.
You're right. You're right.
What?
Fresh.
Second prize is a driver for that. You get your own chauffeur.
Can I get that in white?
You can get that in white. Yes, right. And delivery will be this evening, by the way. It's very fast. I get this.
Thank you.
So our prizes are t-shirts and Amazon cards for those that have already won a t-shirt. Everyone still plays and everyone keeps going. Hint, hint, boss. Keep it going. All right. Are we ready? So here we go. Let me share my screen. And I love these questions. It's a summertime tech questions. So tech is a part of summer, whether it's bringing a little fan to the beach or a copper tone, sunscreen is tech. That's technology. That's scientific technology. So here we go. We all like the barbecue. We went through this first. We all want to get out there and throw some of those on there. So that's what barbecue looks like. But that's a propane barbecue. They all started as grills. What year did the propane barbecue come to the American public? 1941, 1973, 1968. Put your answers in the chat. Crystal and Israel, please watch the chat. So what year did the first big box store of its era, Montgomery Ward, Sears Roebuck, whatever was in your town, release and say, hey, public, here's a bomb that you can put underneath your barbecue and cook your steak. All right, we are going to go once, We are gonna
Get
go
over to it.
twice. And 3, the bidding has closed on the first barbecue. Let me roll through these and see if anybody's got it. Okay, who said 1911? Liz.
Yeah, I was about to say, somebody said 1911.
I did.
Lord have mercy.
1911 when it was introduced commercially.
It was introduced, could be 1911. That's very true.
That was
That is a
commercially.
loophole. You are dangerous, counselor. That was the loophole question where I'd have to give away a free t-shirt. That was a good loophole. But this is when the first big box store. So we don't have a winner. Let me see who's closest.
We have one.
Oh, you-
Were we Googling this information
No,
or we
you're
were
not
just
allowed
supposed
to Google it. You're not. Oh, we do have a
I
winner.
think some people Googled.
But we only have one
I
winner.
can't even get to the response screen.
Okay, who say it out loud then?
1954.
Okay, so Linda said 54, but sorry, Linda. Bidding is closed, but we do have a winner. We have a winner of a t-shirt, and that is Sylvia Santos Manalong.
All right, Sylvia.
has won. Let's take a look at this, okay?
1960. Wow.
What was the answer?
I'm going to show you right now. I don't want to. Hold on. I don't want to show the other question answer. So there it is. You see that? 1960. The Louisiana Gas Company. Makes sense that in Louisiana, they were the first people to come up with a propane barbecue, you know,
quite over yet.
barbecuing country. They came with and I found the barbecue. You ready to see what it looks like? Here it is. I found a picture of it. I went down that rabbit hole. I think I did. Oh my God, where is it? It's so retro looking if I can find it. What a letdown if I can't. Oh, there it is. You ready? It's sort of a 1970s lime green. Do you remember these?
Oh, look at that.
Look at that with the little dangerous hose ready to blow up the whole neighborhood there.
You know what's
Cute.
funny? My friend's
Mine was always red.
The red one. Okay, so we have one winner. Let's get on to our next question, folks. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. There are 2 people to thank in this life for all the good things. One is our creator, and the next is the person that put air conditioning in cars. Right? Like, for sure. What year, summertime's coming, what year was the air conditioner, the car air conditioner first offered to the public? Back into the chat room. If you can't find the chat, say it out loud and we'll jot it down. What year was an air conditioner put in a car and offered as a feature?
That's pretty darn close.
Let's see. Do you know the answer, Israel?
I know that one off top.
1970.
Okay. I see one winner already. We've got we've got 2 winners.
72.
There's 2.
Whoever said 72, write that down. We have 2 winners. Bidding is closing. We have 2 winners closing.
1939.
No.
Oh man, I don't want to. I'm ready to give. So we have okay.
1964.
1939.
Oh, okay.
1939 with the Packard.
I
We're
cannot
going
check. What happened?
once, twice, 3.
1968.
Bidding is closed.
Oh.
Everybody that said, let me do the reveal here. Everybody that said 1940, you were so close, Miss Moore.
Oh my goodness.
I just don't want to reveal the last question. Let me just cheat this.
1940.
1940.
Wow.
Miss Moore, you should be pretty, where did that question? You should be pretty proud. It was a Packard.
Yeah, and they were the ones that first dealt.
But it was the 1940 Packard.
Well,
But
don't forget the auto start the year before they go out for sale.
Who remembers this air conditioner? Remember the window?
Oh,
vent
love
right there?
those. Love the
I
window.
love those. You'd stick out there after the
Love
beach.
them.
All right,
The
folks. So
best.
let's tally up our winners on that. On 19, I think there's 3 of them. Everybody put it in there. You're all going to get a t-shirt. We'll need to get your address and the size of t-shirt you want. So we have a bunch of winners, and whoever said 1940 and wings is a winner. I know Uma, Patricia, Liz Wong, and Brenda Brubaker. That was a hot one. All right, you ready for the and
That's not fair. That's not fair because all autos before they come out, they do it the year prior to, they put it on the market for sale.
how much do we say? Let's take a group vote. How about we send a t-shirt to Oklahoma to Miss Moore, everybody? Let's see a yes.
Nebraska, Nebraska.
No, other part, even just as good. Who says
But
yes?
you know, Elijah, you know yourself that when they put a car out for sale, the car is already manufactured the year prior to it goes onto the market.
I've already established as law enforcement in the room. I really don't know anything without a counsel representing me right now.
Hey, I can represent you now.
Okay, we can sign up. We can sign up. Let's move on to our last tech question, though. And Ms. Moore, get in the name. And please, everybody get Crystal and Israel, please get Ms. Moore's name on the list. 39 is pretty close, and she's right. If you were special, you got the.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Where's Voss at? Where is Voss?
Well, Voss hasn't answered yet. I'm waiting for Voss.
Oh,
Voss also have 1939.
Anybody with 39 or 40 gets a t-shirt. I do have a lot of t-shirts to give away. So let's go to the final question. We're going to go back to the modern world now. We're going to leave old wing air conditioners and things behind. All right. We're from Southern California. It gets pretty hot here all year round. We know a lot. We drive past solar panels all the time now, from industrial to your neighbor with the little house in the valley, you know, with the kidney-shaped pool. What percentage? I'm looking at Voss for this one. Oh, don't read. What percentage of U.S. homes, personal homes, not industrial or commercial, what percentage of U.S. homes are currently deploying a solar system, a solar panel system? 0 to 100%. Write it in the chat.
39. What do you say? 39.
39, 34.
I think that's too much. But no, you make your own guess.
Yeah, make your own. Everybody take your guess.
Yes.
Simbre, throw one in there, Simbre. I want you to toss any number out, any number out. What percentage, 0 to, in your block, out of 10 houses, how many of you think have solar? What percentage? Russ has got 15 in there. I don't even remember the answer. Wait, I'm going to stop sharing here for a moment so I can look and not everybody here.
I say.
Oh God!
4%.
Oh God! Hold on a second, folks.
4%.
Among ourselves.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to open it right now. We're sort of going to self-police here. Are you ready for the big reveal? Final tech question till next month, and we need some topics for next month too. Next month's going to be a good one, but let me share this. And here we go. Drum roll, please, for the number of homes. I know the number of homes that had solar panels when we were born, all of us, and that was 0. So whatever we see now is going to be a pretty big leap from 0. And are we ready? U.S. installed 23.6 gigawatts of solar PV capacity in 2021 to reach 124.1 gigawatts total installed capacity, enough to power 23.3% of the homes in America. So 23, almost a quarter of the homes in America have a solar panel or 2 or 3.
Wow.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
A lot more than I would have thought.
It's a lot more than I would have thought. I bet you though, they're not where they need to be. I bet you those are not in the poorest communities where they need to be though. You know what I mean? Like where it would really make a difference. I bet they're in Encino, and in homes where you can get a rebate, and you can not only Encino, like anywhere in Southern California where, a consumer is paying attention.
Nope, they're mostly in California.
Because the government does that. Folks, we're going to throw up a panel now where Crystal is going to take over and share a few things. We're not going to ask Crystal a lot of questions. We're going to let Crystal roll through this for a moment. And here
Okay, for those of you that won t-shirts, some of you have already done it. Put your shirt size, send your shirt size in the chat. Okay, well, the next tech class is going to be on June the 8th at 3 p.m. So if you haven't done so already, please register for that. We do have our upcoming Aging Mastery session number 2 coming up starting May 31st, going through the end of June. I believe Beverly Clark, that's on here, and some of you have attended our Aging Mastery and enjoyed the program. So if you haven't experienced our Aging Mastery program, please register for that. Or send an email if we've closed it out, because we may have reached capacity. Also, we have upcoming June the 15th, the Fitness Made Simple exercise class. One is also next week on the 18th, but we do have our fitness leaders. Jeanette Allen is one of our fitness team leaders with those classes. So she has a team of people that she leads and hold accountable each month. And so please register for that. We have our excellent brain health classes held by the Alzheimer Foundation. Register for that for June the 22nd. Very informative. We also have an estate planning webinar for retired and active members, June the 19th. And this is, we have 2 speakers that will be hosting this estate planning. One lady from the Department of Aging, and then we have a elder attorney that will be hosting the second portion, talking about living trusts, wills, and how to get your paper and your documents in order, even with lacers. So please go online and register for those webinars. Then we have our championing events, our walks in the park, golfing, hiking, classes, hula as well virtually. Jeanette Allen, she runs one of our book clubs and our movie review club each month. And then, of course, Miss Carmen Hawkins, who's on here, and her and Hazel, they all get together. She has her virtual cooking classes. Hazel, Carmen is in Vegas, and she does the cooking classes via Zoom. Okay, so please check those things out. If you're interested in participating in any of those activities, send us an email and we'll get you their information, and you can get their Zoom information as well. Okay.
I have a question.
Thank you, Crystal. Thank you so much for all of that.
I want
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. And let's give the Lacers team a round of applause. You know, and I'll tell you this from experience, folks. We work with, let me put my video back on. We work with, you have a great retirement fund, and you just because you work so hard to put it together, it's not like a free, you did it, it's you. But we work with a lot of organizations, and as the pandemic has faded, some have faded away from their emergency responses, you know, and I just think it's an honor to Lacers that they see the value in reaching all of you in their disparate places that we've ended up. And I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. Israel, say hello to your fan base.
Hey
Look at
guys.
your fan base. Look at the computer screen.
Hi. I'm trying to write this down, my bad.
Yeah, so Israel will be back next month as background. I want to give Jeanette Allen the fashion award today for the hat matching the mom's computer t-shirt. That means you'll get the next design. Crystal always gets the top award. Crystal's my boss, so I don't mean to outstep it. You know, we'll highlight Jeanette when she comes back working for the city again. But until that point, I want you to know you're all super valuable. You're not alone throughout the month. I spoke to Royce this bit. In the past, I've spoken to Linda. You are just not alone with those questions.